obviously there are going to be some differences between American and Japanese high schools, but here are some major differences that I've noticed. Now it has been about 3 weeks, just because I really wanted things to sink in, and also because I was a little lazy. But yeah, and obviously Keiwa is a bit different from other schools. It's a Christian high school in Japan, and so obviously some experiences might be exclusively to Keiwa, but here are just some things that I've noticed. Now, one of the biggest things that still takes some getting used to is the age hierarchy. Now, it's gonna be kind of complicated, but basically I'm a second year in high school, even though if I'm old enough to be in third year. And in America, I was young, so I'm actually technically graduated, but in Japan, I'm the age where I would still be graduating. So there's a lot of things going into play here. But basically, third years look at me as if I'm lower than them, even though if I'm about the same age, and arguably I've probably done more stuff because I can drive, I had a job, I have a debit card, which is all things that they like to brag about because, you know, in Japan, the ages that you can acquire these things are a bit different. So there's just a lot of things going into play, and it's just really hard for me to get used to it. And I remember the first week I came, I got yelled at for not using keigo, which is formal talk. And, you know, being a foreigner, I was like, okay, why does this rule apply to me, right? Like, why are they so annoyed at me for not knowing keigo? Because I haven't been in Japan in 5 years. Most of the Japanese I know I learned from anime or from when I was younger, so obviously there's not gonna be a whole lot of formal talk there. And I just got really pissed off. And I remember I was complaining to the teacher, but she really gave me a new perspective of looking at it this way. Because to me, when I look at them, I see someone of the same age, someone I can make friends with. But to them, because I'm a second year, they don't see me as equal, they see me as below. So I have to kind of take that into account whenever they treat me differently. So I shouldn't take it as personally as I should. And obviously there's a lot of really cool third years out there that like talking to me. But the American side of me really believes that you're not born with respect, you gotta earn it, right? You're not just gonna have respect because you're older, you gotta do something that I can respect. And I realized there's been a few times that maybe I've said more than I should have, just because, like, to me, as an American, if I see something that's wrong, I'll just be like, hey, you know what, that's wrong, I don't like that. But in Japan, it's the opposite. No matter how wrong it is, if it's the rule, if it's someone older than you, you just don't say anything, right? Maybe you can kind of mention it, but even that would be very risky. So that's just something I have to be used to, and I don't know how well I can adapt to that. Now the next thing is how shy Japanese people. Now I know that's an introverted society. I thought that people only said that because, you know, as a foreigner, whenever you go to another country, they might not want to talk to you because they're gonna be, oh, you know, this person only speaks English. But I feel like I made it clear enough that I know quite a bit of Japanese, so people can converse with me. But even then, it takes people a really long time to open up, right? The first week I was there, I was trying to make friends, but they wouldn't really say what's on their mind. They'd only agree with me, or every once in a while say something, but all in all, I would be the one with mostly talking. And the dorm kids are very cold. They don't really talk to me, and I'll talk to them for like maybe about an hour, and then the rest of the week they just don't talk to me at all. So I don't like the dorms. I actually look forward to going to school, and it also helps that grades don't matter to me. And I've met a lot of really cool people. Yuma, if you're watching this, I don't think you would be because doesn't know much English, but he's very nice. But yeah, it just takes so long to make friends with Japanese people. They just don't really open up. And it is kind of accomplishing though, because these past 2 weeks, you know, I've slowly settled in. My friends, they've been slowly using a little bit more English around me, which at first they were like deathly afraid and they wouldn't say anything, they'd only speak in Japanese. But yeah, I'm really happy that they're finding more comfort in talking to me, and that, you know, people aren't as afraid to like call me over or like try to talk to me, initiate a conversation. Because the first week it was really painful because I'm kind of an outgoing guy, right? In America you make friends just like that, but in Japan, you know, you have to kind of play a game where you kind of move through steps and stages. So yeah, introverts paradise, extroverts kind of, you know, you're gonna have to get used to it, but it's very rewarding. And yeah, I hope with these upcoming weeks and months, I'm not here for too long, but I'm hoping that I make some really good friends. And so far I've been getting along really well with a few of my classmates, so I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, so just keep that in mind. You know, it's not gonna be as easy, but you'll definitely be able to make friends. It's just gonna be a little bit more challenging. Now this is something that I really like. Okay, it's the club culture in Japan. Now there are 3 buses, right? There's one when school ends, there's one about 5:15, there's one more about 6:15. Now this really enables people to go to clubs and focus on the hobbies they really like. And this might not seem as a big deal for some of you guys, but for me, from where I'm from in America, my high school, as big as it was, 2,000 students, we didn't really have any activity buses. So if you wanted to go to a club or attend a meeting or anything, you had to drive yourself, tag with a friend, get your parents to drop you off. And it was just a whole hassle, right? And if you don't have transportation, obviously you can't participate in activities. And I just think that, Japan does a really good job of being able to do that sort of stuff. And I kind of wish that my school was just as supportive in that sense, because I wish that I could have joined a sports club or done more when I was younger, because I never really was in any clubs. I was a club leader for one, and I kind of joined a games club, but I never really felt as if like I was part of the school, more as like part of the friend group, right? But Japan does a really good job of incorporating clubs into schools, and like every weekend, most clubs almost always have a meeting. So whenever you go down to the train station, you'll always see like a bunch of high school students going, and when you come back at night, they'll all be leaving because that's how dedicated they are. And I think just having a hobby and something that you can like really put your passion into, I think that's just something really neat. And now obviously I can't really talk because I'm sure in America it's like this too, but I just never like seen it, realized it, or just it's not really talked about. But in Japan, it's like you could see it clear as day that the schools, they invest in the clubs, and so do the students, and it just really pays off. And I think that's really neat. Now, besides all the good things, here's one thing that I did notice that I was like, ugh. So I've been going to an American high school for 4 years of my life, so I understand how immature high school boys can be. But Japan's immaturity is on a whole new level, right? Or immaturity, as I should say, that people do act very young. Now the boys, they find sex jokes and stuff funny, and the girls, they giggle at everything. It's just really strange to me because, like, in high school in America, unless you're a freshman, you kind of grow from that, and you kind of become more independent, and you mature a little bit, right? You might still laugh at the same stupid jokes, but you won't laugh at just someone saying the dick or something. But in Japan, it's kind of strange because they still find those like really stupid, like inappropriate words really funny, and they'll laugh. And I think it actually kind of stems from the taboo, which this is another video I do want to talk about, is dating culture in Japan. I think it's just because of the taboo of that kind of reflects onto all the boys, because when I first went to K-What, they're all very interested in knowing if I was like a virgin. They kept saying dick and like sex jokes around me, thinking it was funny, and I obviously I didn't even react. I was just like, you know what, like, I don't know, these guys they're just a little childish, but I'm sure they'll grow from it. And it's just really interesting to me, and it's something that, like, it's not as annoying as I make it out to be, but it is kind of strange to me a little bit. So it got a little bit of taking used to for me to get used to all of it. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'm sure you guys know the drill already. But yeah, hopefully I'll have a more consistent upload schedule. But I've been kind of getting lazy again because of school. So hopefully I can change that, and I'll see you next time. Bye!